No? Okay. Well, vamos a repasar las compras, ordenar la comida, los verbos y los colores. New stuff, we'll learn the alphabet in Spanish today. Vamos a hablar de Latinos Famosos, famous Latin people. We'll talk about Argentina today. The kind of cultural topic is around Argentina, pizza, reading, etc. And vamos a conversar, mucha conversación. First, Leah, look at the sentence. El libro es roja. Would you say the sentence grammatically is correct or incorrect? Incorrecta o correcta?
Incorrecta. El libro es rojo.
Muy bien. Sky, las plantas son bonitas.
Correcta.
And then Carly, los teléfonos es blanco.
Incorrecta.
And how can you fix it?
Oh, el teléfono es blanco.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just go continue in this order. Leah, Sky, Carly. So you're up, Leah.
Incorrecta. El pizzería es grande. No.
You're right that it's incorrect, but that's not the change. Grande doesn't change.
Oh. La pizzería es grande.
Muy bien. La pizarra es grande.
Incorrecta. Las casas son baratas.
Correcta.
Leah?
Oh, sorry, I thought she was still going. Correcta.
Incorrecta. Los doctores son buenos.
Muy bien. El playa es fea.
Incorrecta. La playa es fea.
El actriz es bonito.
Incorrecta. El actriz es bonita.
You fixed one of the errors. There's two here.
La actriz es bonita.
Muy bien. Describe las flores, Sky. So try to use an adjective from each column.
Okay. Las flores es bonita y amarillo.
So we need to match in both number and in gender. So you did the gender, but you need to also make it plural. So it'd be las flores son bonitas y amarillas.
Okay.
Carly, describe el carro.
El carro es, let's see, feo y azul.
Describe la casa, Leah.
La casa es nueva y gris.
Describe los zapatos.
Los zapatos es feo y rojo.
So again, it's plural. Los zapatos.
Es.
So S is singular. So the plural form would be los zapatos son.
Los zapatos son feo y rojo.
Feos y rojos.
Feos y rojos.
Describe la planta.
La planta es bonito y verde.
So it is feminine.
Bonita y verde.
Yeah, and I think we skipped Carly. So go ahead, Carly.
El gato es bonito y negro.
Sky, describe el perro.
El perro es chico y blanco.
Describe el escritorio.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Kylie, you go and then we'll be back in order again.
Okay. El escritorio nuevo y marrón.
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 Muy bien. Describe el marcador, Lea.
El marcador es barato y morado.
Muy bien. And don't forget to pronounce your S.
Es
El marcador
barato.
S.
El marcador barato es morado.
I know that's a hard one with French because I think it's the same word in French, right?
It
It's
is the same word. You just don't say the
yes,
S.
you just don't say the S, right? So, describe la computadora.
Is it my turn?
Sky.
Okay. La computadora es caro y anaranjado.
Mhm. And don't forget to make it feminine because it's la computadora.
Okay. La computadora es cara y anaranjada.
Anaranjada. Yeah. Okay, good.
Anaranjada.
All right, let's take a look at the alphabet. Repeat after me. A,
Ah,
B,
D,
C,
Yes.
D,
D,
A,
E,
F,
F,
G,
G,
H,
H,
I,
I,
J,
J,
K,
K,
L,
L,
M,
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 N,
N,
Ñ,
N,
O,
O,
P,
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 Q,
Q,
R,
R,
S,
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 T,
T,
U,
U,
V,
V,
W,
V, W,
X,
X,
Y,
Y,
Z.
Z.
Muy bien. So I put together this little color coordinated chart for you just to kind of help you with this. So remember our vowel sounds up top. A, I, O, U. Each letter of the alphabet is going to produce one of those sounds. So for orange, we've got the letter A, or the sound A, and we've just got 4, right? A, J, K, Z. For the letter E, we just have 2. E and X. O, just 1. And then U, just 2. Q and U. As you can see, the vast majority of letters in Spanish are going to produce the A sound, right? The Spanish A sound. So when in doubt, you can kind of guess with the A sound, okay? Now, when I teach the alphabet, I like to mention a couple of things because who here has taken Spanish at some point in the past, whether in college or in high school or something like that? All right. So as I'm going through this, you might be saying, wait a second, something's different about this alphabet. And that's because in September 28th of 2010, the Royal Spanish Academy made a change, an official change to the alphabet in Spanish. So it's only 11 years later, which means if you went to school before 2010, you're still using the old alphabet. And if you go to school after 2010, then you're using the new alphabet, which means we have to learn both. So some of the differences, some of the main differences are that the letter B and the V essentially produce the same sound in Spanish, bay. They're going to produce the B as in boy sound for us, right? Before 2010, when people are spelling to distinguish between the two, they would say the B grande and the B chica, right? After 2010, they did make the official change to the letter V to be ube, so now you don't have to do the B grande or B chica. However, you'll still hear people say that all the time. The letter Y originally came from the Greek alphabet, so it's called the Y griega. And they changed it because typically speaking, when you're speaking Spanish, and you see a Y, it's produced like that Y sound, or in Spain, it's going to be more of a J, right? So they actually changed the pronunciation of the letter to mimic the sound that it makes, J, okay? The W used to be doble B, and they changed it to be more, first, the V changed to ube, and then the grammar rule is that adjectives follow the word they describe, so they changed it to be in accordance with the grammar rule, so it's now ube doble. And then finally, who remembers the double letters, the che, the ege, and the r? They're no longer part of the alphabet. They decided that they are not individual letters, but rather double letters. So they don't need to be on the alphabet and don't need to be taught as individual letters anymore. So I just like to tell my students that, just to let you know, we don't speak the English of Shakespeare anymore. Languages evolve over time. And this is a great example of how in our lifetime, we've seen actually the Spanish change, the Spanish language make an official change. So that's why it's like that. Now, why do we want to learn how to spell? Or the alphabet? We learn the alphabet so that we can spell in Spanish, right? Which is a great skill to have. The great news is Spanish is phonetic, which means spelling is usually really easy. So the Spanish word for class is clase. So if you know your vowel sounds, a, e, o, u, it's just a matter of really sounding out those and then kind of guessing the other surrounding letters, right? So clase, a, e. But imagine that you are checking into the airport in Argentina. And for example, Carly, you made a reservation for an airplane ticket, right? And they just spelled your name out phonetically, Carly, okay? So in Spanish, the way that I would spell that would be Carly. Is that right?
Is that how I spell my name, or is that
Right.
what looks right? It's not how I spell my name, but
That is not how you, so you're not getting on that airplane, right? Sky, Sky, I would spell your name phonetically in Spanish. If you came in and said Sky, I would say Sky. You getting on that plane, Sky?
I don't think so.
Now, Leah, you pronounce your name Leah, right?
Yeah, Leah. It
So
has
in Spanish, I would spell your name, Leah.
Mhm.
That's phonetically how your name sounds, right? That's why I always call you Leah, right? But Leah that's how they would spell your name, right? So very important. If you don't learn how to spell anything else, that you at least learn how to spell your names in Spanish. So let's practice this. To say, how do you spell, you would say, ¿Cómo se deletrea? So we'll start with you, Leah. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Leah.
Leah. ¿Cómo se deletrea Leah?
Se deletrea L-I-A.
L?
L-I-A.
It's not E. L-A-A.
L-A-A. L-A-A.
And then what about the H?
Oh, you want me to spell it the right way? All right, sorry.
Of course, yes.
Sorry, I thought you wanted me to spell it like you had spelled it L-I-A.
No, I want you to spell it. Remember, you have to learn how to spell it to get on the plane.
Okay, so no wonder. I was like, why is he changing my, okay. L-I-A-H.
It's not an E.
Ache.
It's not an E, because the E in Spanish, hold on. Here's what you just said. L-A-E-A-H, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's not an E, it's an A. So you want to say
L-A-A-H.
L-A-A-H. L-A-A-H. Let's try that one more time, Leah. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Leah.
¿Y cómo se deletrea Leah?
Se deletrea L-A-A-H.
Perfecto. Sky, ¿cuál es tu apellido?
Es Minery.
Okay, ¿cómo se deletrea Minery?
Oh, I might need some help with this. I don't know how to say any of these words. So M is
M-A.
M-A.
When in doubt, guess A. M-A.
Okay. And then for I is E.
M-A-E.
Okay. And then G.
G is hey.
Hey.
Hey. M-A-E. Hey.
M-A-E. Hey. N-A. A. Did I say E?
Sí.
A.
Mhm.
And then R, I don't know how to say R.
R.
R. And then Y. I don't know how to say
J.
that one either.
J.
J.
Así? So let's do it together, okay? Repeat after me. M.
M. A.
E.
E.
Hey.
Hey.
N.
N. A.
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 R.
R.
Y.
J.
Muy bien. Yeah, definitely you need to learn how to spell that because they will not get that right. Muy bien. Carly, ¿cuál es tu correo electrónico?
Okay. S C A R L L
L. Muy bien.
L I E punto O R T for T T E
Hey.
no E
Hey.
no meaning I so
E.
E and then I don't know Z
Z.
Z arroba and then what would Gmail be? Would you spell
So
that?
with Gmail, most people will recognize that, but just for the practice, we want to say, hey,
A
hey, like,
A
hey, how are you? Hey,
mhm.
hey,
M A I L punto C O
oh,
M
that was the only easy one.
the one I forgot.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, good. So practice with your alphabet, especially for your first name, last name, and email address, because that's another good talent to be able to give people your email. Bien, so let's pretend like we're going shopping again, but this time we're gonna see a slightly different dialogue here. Okay, so Sky, I'll ask you to be my partner. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, gracias. Necesito una botella de agua.
Muy bien, ¿de dónde eres?
Soy de los Estados Unidos. ¿Y tú?
Soy de Guadalajara. ¿Hablas español muy bien?
Gracias. ¿Cuánto cuesta todo?
La botella de agua cuesta 20 pesos.
Perfecto. Llevo todo.
Muy bien. So, up until this point, we've seen kind of a robotic dialogue for shopping, right? However, if you get on a plane and go down to Mexico tomorrow, it's very rare that they're going to stick to that dialogue. Naturally, people are going to see you come into the store and kind of try and size you up and be like, okay, great, here comes another American, you know, how's this going to work out, right? But then when you start speaking Spanish, this is one thing that I just love about the culture of Spanish, is that Spanish speakers love it when people at least try to speak their language, right? So as soon as you start speaking Spanish, almost always they're going to tell you that you speak Spanish very well, right? Hablas español muy bien, right? Leah, you've been to Paris, right? I mean, you grew up speaking French, so I don't know if this applies to you, but I've been to Paris a couple of times and they did not want me to speak French. They're like,
Yeah, I spoke with a different accent, so they thought I was a peasant.
okay, yeah. When I was, learning French and trying to speak it with my American accent, people, it would be common for people to say, "You speak French terrible." Let me.
Yeah.
My English is superior. Let me, right? And it's like, wow, gee, thanks. Spanish, they love it. They love it. So it'd be very common that they're going to ask you where you're from. And then let's just go over a few other questions that they might ask. Okay. Carly, ¿estás casada?
Sí.
Sí, estoy casada.
Sí. Sí, estoy casada.
¿Y tienes hijos?
No tengo hijos.
Muy bien. So what I just asked, is she married? Does she have children? Now, this might seem like an intrusive question for us in the United States, but culturally, the Spanish-speaking world revolves around the family nucleus. So one of the first conversation starters that you will get when talking to Spanish people will be about your family. They will ask you if you're married and if you have children, almost right off the bat. So just be prepared and just know that it's not a rude question. It is just how it's a different way of culture. Okay, for the purpose of this question, I'm teaching it for a couple of reasons. A, it is a really common question. Technically, not a polite question either, but it is a common question to ask people how old they are in Latin America. B, it's a different form. So in Spanish, you say, how many years do you have, as opposed to how old are you? For the purpose of this, I don't care if you're 15 years old. If you want to be 15 hoy, that's perfectly fine. I'm just trying to teach you this phrase, right? Lea, ¿cuántos años tienes?
Yo tengo, how do you say 55? Yo tengo
55.
55 años.
Años. Muy bien. Sky, ¿te gusta la pelota? So pelota, depending on which country you're in, normally is going to refer to soccer, okay? If you are in the Caribbean, so like Dominican Republic or Cuba, or if you're in Venezuela too, la pelota is going to refer more to baseball because it's more popular in those particular countries. Outside of that, in Spain, of course, soccer. So, Sky, ¿te gusta la pelota?
No, no me gusta la pelota.
Muy bien. So here I'm not going to ask, ¿cuál es tu equipo favorito? Because that means, what's your favorite team? If you don't like it, there's no need for me to ask it. Carly, ¿qué te gusta hacer?
Practicar yoga. Me gusta practicar yoga.
Muy bien. ¿Dónde estudias español, Lea?
Do I speak Spanish, or am I studying Spanish, or is that where am I studying Spanish?
Where do you study Spanish?
Where am I studying? ¿Dónde estudias español? A Denver, in Denver.
Sí, so you want to say estudio español.
Estudio español in Denver.
¿A qué te dedicas?
Is this one for me?
Yep.
I don't know what dedicas means.
So this is, what do you do for work?
Oh,
Eres arquitecta, right? You're an architect?
sí.
Soy arquitecta.
Soy arquitecta.
Muy bien. ¿Qué haces aquí en Mexico? So imagine we're in Mexico, obviously, for this question. We're asking, so what are you doing here? You might say, estoy de vacaciones. I'm on vacation. Estoy aquí por negocios. I'm here for business. Estoy estudiando español. I'm studying Spanish. Or perhaps you might have family in Mexico. Tengo familia aquí. Carly, ¿qué haces aquí en México?
Estoy vacaciones.
Estoy de vacaciones.
Vacaciones. Estoy de vacaciones.
Okay, muy bien. So depending on the country you might find yourself in, if you're in Mexico, I might say, escuchas la música mariachi. Leia, if you're going to Spain, right, I might say, escuchas la música flamenco.
Flamenco.
¿Escuchas la música flamenco, Leia?
Sí, mi favorita música es flamenco.
Muy bien. Okay, so let's practice the dialogue again. And this time I'm just going to throw some random questions in here for you. Okay, so we'll start with Leia. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, gracias. Necesito una botella de agua.
Okay, muy bien. ¿Hablas español? Muy bien. ¿De dónde eres?
Gracias. Soy de los Estados Unidos.
Muy bien. ¿Y dónde estudias español?
Estudias español en Denver.
Estudio español.
Estudió español en Denver.
Muy bien. And so now you can say, ¿cuánto cuesta todo?
¿Cuánto cuesta todo?
La botella de agua cuesta 20 pesos.
Perfecto, llevo todo.
Okay, nice job. All right, let's go with you now, Sky. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, gracias. Necesito una botella de agua.
Ok, está bien. ¿Estás casada?
No, no casada.
Oh, ok. ¿Y de dónde eres?
Estoy de Estados Unidos.
Hablas español muy bien. ¿Qué haces aquí en México?
Estoy de vacaciones.
And so now maybe you say, ¿cuánto cuesta todo?
¿Cuánto cuesta todo?
La botella de agua cuesta 20 pesos.
Perfecto, llevo todo.
Muy bien. All right, let's go with Carly now. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, gracias. Necesito una botella de agua.
Está muy bien. ¿De dónde eres?
Soy de Oklahoma.
¿Hablas español? Muy bien. ¿Escuchas la música mariachi?
Sí, me gusta la música mariachi.
¿Y qué te gusta hacer? ¿Te gusta?
Me gusta practicar yoga.
Está bien. So now ask me, ¿cuánto cuesta todo?
¿Cuánto cuesta todo?
La botella de agua cuesta 20 pesos.
Perfecto, llevo todo.
Okay, muy bien. So yeah,
Does
when you,
todo mean I'll take all of it or
everything.
everything? Okay.
Perfecto. Leia, ¿de qué color es el equipo de España?
El equipo de España, colores es equipo de España rojo.
Yeah, you can just say simple answer. I'm just looking to practice colors here. Rojo.
Es rojo. Rojo.
¿De qué color es el equipo de Alemania? Sky.
Oh, negro. Or
Negro
negra.
y rojo. Negro y rojo.
Negro y rojo.
¿De qué color es el equipo de Argentina?
Azul y blanco.
¿De qué color es el equipo de Brasil?
Amarillo y azul.
¿De qué color es el equipo de Holanda?
Oh, this is the word I have trouble with.
Ana.
Anna. Wait, say it for me one more time and then I'll remember.
Anaranjado.
Anaranjado.
¿De qué color es el equipo de Bélgica?
Rojo y amarillo.
¿De qué color es el equipo de Francia?
Azul.
¿De qué color es el equipo de Estados Unidos?
Blanco.
¿De qué color es el equipo de Nigeria?
Verde.
Muy bien. Enrique Peña Nieto fue el presidente de México. No fue popular porque durante su presidencia se escapó el Chapo, la violencia se incrementó y la economía sufrió. ¿Te gusta Enrique Peña Nieto, Lea?
No me gusta Enrique Peña
Nieto. Muy bien.
Nieto.
Sky, Fidel Castro y Che Guevara fueron los revolucionarios que introdujeron el comunismo a Cuba y mantienen a los cubanos en la década de los 50. ¿Te gustan Fidel Castro y Che Guevara?
No, no me gusta Fidel Castro.
Pitbull es un rapero de Miami de ascendencia cubana. Es famoso por decir dale.
Ujú,
¿Te gusta Pitbull, Carly?
ujú. Me gusta Pitbull.
Marc Anthony y Jennifer Lopez son cantantes muy famosos, pero son conocidos por tener una de las relaciones públicas más celosas y feas. ¿Te gustan Marc Anthony y Jennifer Lopez, Lea?
Sí, me gustan Marc Anthony y Jennifer Lopez.
Muy bien. Sky, George Lopez es un cómico chicano de Los Ángeles y usa muchísimo el Spanglish en su comedia. ¿Te gusta George Lopez?
Sí, me gusta George Lopez.
Carly, Cheech and Chong es un dúo de comedia activo desde los 70 y muy popular entre personas que fuman marihuana. ¿Te gustan Cheech and Chong?
Sí, me gusta Cheech and Chong.
Carlos Slim es el mayor empresario de México y a veces conocido como el hombre más rico del mundo. ¿Te gusta Carlos Slim, Lea?
¿Qué? Sí, me gusta Carlos Slim.
El Papa Francisco es el primer Papa latinoamericano, es de Argentina. Es conocido por ser humilde y está renovando la popularidad del catolicismo en el mundo. ¿Te gusta el Papa Francisco? Sky?
Sí, me gusta el Papa Francisco.
Muy bien. Okay, so let's review our verbs. Ordenar means to order, right? Carly, ¿cómo se puede decir? How do you say I order?
Yo ordeno.
And then you order.
Tú ordenas.
Muy bien. So let's follow this model. Lea?
Yo tomo. Yo tomas.
Tú toma.
Two tomas, sorry.
Reservar. Sky?
Yo reservo y tú reservas.
Bailar.
Yo bailo. Tú bailas.
Cocinar.
Yo cocino. Tú cocinas.
Esquiar.
Yo esquío, tú esquías.
Viajar.
Yo viajo. Tú viajas.
Desear.
Yo deseo. Tú deseas.
Comer.
Yo como, tú comas.
Comes.
Comes.
So this one, here we were with an AR verb. So over here we put an AS. This is an ER verb. So over here we put an ES.
Okay.
Leer. Carly?
Yo leo. Tú lees.
Beber.
Yo bebo. Tú bebes.
Correr.
Yo correo,
Corro. Just a no.
corro, and tú corres.
Muy bien. Carly, ¿ordenas jugo de naranja con el desayuno?
Sí, ordeno jugo de naranja con el desayuno.
¿Tomas café por la mañana, Lea?
Sí, tomo café por la mañana.
Sky, ¿reservas una mesa normalmente?
Sí, reservo una mesa normalmente.
¿Bailas en la discoteca?
No, no bailo en la discoteca.
¿Cocinas comida mexicana?
Sí, cocino comida mexicana.
¿Esquías mucho durante el invierno?
Sí, esquío mucho durante el invierno.
¿Viajas por Sudamérica?
No viajo por Sudamérica.
Viajo.
Viajo.
Muy bien. ¿Qué deseas beber hoy?
Deseo beber una margarita.
Muy bien. Nos invitas. Invite us. Okay. ¿Comes comida cubana mucho?
No como comida cubana mucho.
¿Cuántos vasos de agua bebes generalmente?
Generalmente bebo 8 vasos de agua.
¿Lees un buen libro ahora, Lea?
Ahora, what is
Ahora significa now. So it's like saying, are you reading a good book now?
sí, leo un buen libro.
¿Corres fuera o en el gimnasio?
I don't know what that means.
Do you run outside or at the gym?
Corro fuera.
Muy bien. All right, so what we're essentially working on is is becoming conversational. So the first step is to understand how the verbs change. And I like to just start with the yo, the to form, because in 99% of the conversations you'll find yourself in for the next few months, someone's going to ask you a question in the you form, you're going to answer it in the yo form. So that's why we're just doing to a yo, right? Now you're answering your questions. The next step to become conversational is to get comfortable forming your own questions. So for this activity, on the right side, we've got 10 different types of drinks, bebidas, okay? You can use all 4 of these verbs in this activity, right? Beber, tomar, ordenar, o desear. Any of these will work. There's no trick questions in here for you. So let's just practice asking each other questions. So you're going to ask a question in the to form. Remember, in Spanish, there's no structural changes. The question is 100% the same as just a regular you sentence, right? For example, I might say, ¿bebes la cerveza? And my conversation partner could say, sí, bebo la cerveza. So you're just getting comfortable taking the verb infinitive beber, turning it into the you form for the question, and then answering it in the I form, if that makes sense. So let's start with Carly, go to Leah. Número 1, el jugo de naranja.
Hola, Leia, bebo el agua de naranja.
So put it in the to form.
Oh,
Bebes,
¿bebes el jugo de naranja?
Sí, bebo el jugo de naranja.
muy bien.
Hola, Sky. ¿Tú bebes el jugo de manzana?
Sí, bebo el jugo de manzana. Hola, Carly. ¿Bebes el café?
Sí, bebo el café. Leia, ¿tomas la leche?
Sí, tomo la leche. Sky, ¿deseas el agua?
Sí, deseo el agua. Carly, ¿deseas los refrescos?
Sí, deseo los refrescos.
Deseo. Deseo.
Deseo. Leia, ¿ordenas las cervezas?
Sí, ordenó la cerveza. Sky, ¿tomas el vino?
Sí, tomo el vino. Carly, ¿bebes los tragos?
Sí, bebo los tragos.
¿Qué significa tragos?
Cocktails.
Cocktails.
Sí. Leia, ¿bebes el ron?
Sí, bebo el ron.
Muy bien. So, good. Next, comidas just means food and meals, okay? So the exact same thing here.
I have a question on the last slide.
Okay.
In some of the review flashcards, they used beber and tomar interchangeably, but is tomar like to take? Like, would that be like to take a drink or?
Good, really good question. Essentially, beber and tomar, when it comes to drinking, are 100% the same and interchangeable. From my experience, I would like to say that perhaps beber is used more in Spain. I lived more time. I was just starting to speak Spanish when I lived in Spain. Most of my experience has been in Latin America, and I hear tomar exclusively used. I don't ever hear people use the word beber. Tomar also can be used to take, depending on the circumstance, right? So it doesn't mean to take a drink. It does mean to drink when you're talking about drinks. But in the sense of like taking medicine, you can say tomar aspirina, right? To take aspirin, or tomar fotos, tomar clases de español. So it just has an extra meaning to it.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing with food, okay? So I think, let's go Leia to Sky for the first one here. El desayuno.
Comes el desayuno?
Sí, como el desayuno. And then I go to Carly.
Sí.
So, ¿deseas el almuerzo?
Sí, deseo el almuerzo. ¿Comes la cena?
Sí, como la cena. ¿Ordenó los huevos?
Ordenas.
¿Ordenas los huevos?
Sí, ordenó los huevos. ¿Cocinas el arroz, Carly?
Cocino el arroz. Sí. ¿Ordenas la carne, Lea?
Sí, ordenó la carne. ¿Deseo la fruta?
Deseas.
¿Deseas la fruta?
Remember to put the question in the to form.
¿Tú deseas la fruta?
Sí, deseo la fruta. ¿Ordenas el pollo, Carly?
Sí, ordenó el pollo. Lea, ¿deseas las verduras? ¿Verduras?
Sí, deseo las verduras. ¿Deseas el pescado?
Sí, deseo el pescado.
Nice job. So you're officially speaking Spanish. If you can do this, you are speaking Spanish. There's clearly a lot more that we need to learn, but this is really the very foundational framework of what a conversation looks like. So nice job. Now, imagine we all go out to eat. We're hanging out in Buenos Aires. We decide to go out to eat at an Argentine steakhouse. This is a really good example of a situation where these phrases and questions I taught you for the Spanish classroom can be used outside of the classroom as well. So remember these 6 phrases that I taught you. ¿Cómo se dice? What does that mean?
What is
How
that?
do you say?
How do you say, right? ¿Qué significa?
What does it mean?
What is the meaning?
¿Puedo hacer una pregunta?
May I
Can I
ask a
ask a
question?
question?
No entiendo.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
understand.
Repite, por favor.
Repeat,
Repeat, please.
Más despacio, por favor.
Much slower, please.
Muy bien. So I come up to the table and I hand you a piece of paper, and this is what that piece of paper says. So the idea here is you want to get to a 100% understanding. Does everybody here understand 100% of what this piece of paper says? All right, so what would you say? Remember, you're having dinner with me, your Spanish teacher, so you can ask me questions, right?
¿Puedo hacer una pregunta?
Sí,
¿Qué significa bistec?
beefsteak. That's what you want to order here at the Argentine steakhouse. Beefsteak means steak.
Cool. I did it.
¿Qué significa papas fritas?
French fries.
¿Qué significa entradas?
Entradas. So think about it like the entrance to the meal. In other words, the appetizer.
¿Qué significa cerdo?
Pork.
Pork.
¿Qué significa la carta? ¿Es menú?
That's the menu. Yeah, good.
Y tragos. ¿Qué significa?
I'm sorry.
Tragos.
Tragos, cocktails.
Ah.
All right. So next, the waiter comes up to the table and says, Buenas tardes, damas y caballeros. Les cuento que el plato del día es el bistec acompañado con puré de papas y una ensalada de tomate y cebolla. Les doy un momento para pensar, pero mientras tanto desean una botella de vino o un trago.
Más despacio, por favor.
Very good, right? You would almost certainly need to say más despacio, no entiendo, those phrases that I've taught you. All right, let's practice ordering food at the restaurant now. Hola, ¿en qué les puedo servir?
Dice para dos, por favor.
So there's 3 of you tonight.
Dice para tres, por favor.
¿Deseas tomar algo?
Oh, my turn. Deseo un refresco.
¿Y tú, Carly?
Deseo una cerveza.
¿Y tú, Leah?
Deseo una copa de vino.
Okay, so tonight we're at the Argentine restaurant, so empanadas are going to be on the menu. Does everybody know what an empanada is? Yeah, I love empanadas. ¿Deseas unas empanadas, Carly?
Deseo de jamón y queso.
¿Y tú, Leah?
Deseo de verdura.
¿Y tú, Sky?
Deseo de queso y cebolla.
Muy bien. And at a lot of Argentine restaurants, you might have a sandwich or pizza on the menu. Leah, ¿deseas un sándwich o una pizza hoy?
Deseo una pizza de mozzarella.
De mozzarella.
De mozzarella. Okay. De mozzarella.
¿Y tú, Sky, deseas una pizza o un sándwich hoy?
Deseo un sándwich. Deseo un tostado.
Muy bien.
Jamón y queso.
¿Y tú, Carly?
No, deseo pizza. La pizza. Una pizza. Deseo verde.
Muy bien. ¿Y deseas café o postre?
Deseo el café.
Muy bien. ¿Y tú, Sky?
Deseo el helado.
¿Y tú, Carly?
Sí, deseo el helado.
Perfecto. ¿Es todo?
Sí, es todo. La cuenta, por favor.
Muy bien. Let's read about Argentina. Argentina es el país más grande de Hispanoamérica y está ubicado al sureste de Sudamérica. Buenos Aires es una de las ciudades más grandes del mundo, con una población de más de 17 millones de habitantes. Sky, what did I just read to you?
Like me translated into English?
Do your best.
So it said that Argentina is the biggest country in the or is that the Americas?
So it's
South
not
America.
the biggest country in the Americas. Hispanoamerica means specifically Spanish-speaking America, because it's certainly not bigger than the United States. And then Brazil is actually technically larger, but they speak Portuguese, not Spanish. So can't say Latin America either, but Spanish-speaking America.
Spanish-speaking America. And then, and it is something in South America, but I don't understand. I don't know what ubicado al sureste means.
Located to the southeast.
Oh, okay. And then Buenos Aires is the biggest city in the world with a population of more than 17 million people.
Very close. One of the biggest cities in the world. Yeah. And this is a picture of downtown Buenos Aires, but like you can see, like almost all of the buildings there, about 15 stories tall, and it just spreads out like that for miles and miles. It is massive. And that's like, what, a 20-lane street or even more. It's almost like a 30-lane street. Like, it's gigantic. I used to live there. It's fun place to live. All right, vamos con Carly. Buenos Aires tiene la segunda población judía más grande de América después de Nueva York.
So Buenos Aires has ¿qué significa segunda población?
So the second, it's kind of, you have to read it all together. La segunda
población.
población judía más grande. It's the second largest Jewish population
Jewish population
in
of
America.
America other than New York.
So same reason why there's a lot of Jewish people in New York fleeing Nazi Germany. Most people went to New York, and then after that, they went to Buenos Aires. So New York and Buenos Aires were the two kind of final destinations for a lot of the European Jewish people at that time. Okay, Lea, Buenos Aires es conocida como la París de América Latina por su arquitectura y gente europea.
Buenos Aires, ¿qué significa conocida?
To be famous for, to be known for.
Buenos Aires is famous in Latin America for architecture that's European.
Yeah, so it's known as the Paris of Latin America because of its architecture and European people. El deporte más popular en Argentina es el fútbol, teniendo 2 campeonatos mundiales. Argentina también es conocida por el tango, un baile sensual y una música romántica que se ve por todos lados.
My turn.
Mhm.
The most popular sport in Argentina is football.
Soccer,
Oh, soccer, I mean,
Oh,
sorry.
how we would call it soccer, yeah.
Right. And then teniendo dos, the only word I understand there is 2.
Having 2 world championships, meaning they've won the World Cup twice.
Okay. And then Argentina is also, oh, she just asked what conocida means, and then I forgot.
It's known for?
Okay, it's known for tango, a sensual dance and romantic music.
That you see everywhere. Se ve means you see everywhere.
Se ve por todos lados.
Muy bien, Carly, hay 7 maravillas naturales en el país, incluyendo las cataratas de Iguazú.
So Argentina has 7 natural marvels in the country, including las cataratas de
Iguazú, the Iguazú Falls is what they
Iguazu.
like to.
You say the G there, like a G?
Iguazú.
Iguazu.
I've been here. This is the most spectacular place in the world I've ever been in person. It is just amazing. If you ever get the chance, do me a favor and go to Iguazú Falls. It's just incredible. Okay, ¿verdadero o falso? Argentina es un país chico.
Also,
So,
Más de 17 millones de personas viven en Buenos Aires.
verdadero.
La religión judía no es importante en Argentina.
Also.
El fútbol es muy popular en Argentina.
verdadero.
Argentina es conocida por la música salsa.
Verdadero.
Falso. Es la música
Oh.
tango.
Oh,
Tango music, not salsa music. No hay nada interesante que ver en Argentina.
Falso.
Muy bien. New verbs for next class. Repiten. Hablar,
Hablar,
caminar,
caminar,
correr,
correr,
aprender,
aprender,
Aprender.
escribir,
Escribir.
recibir,
Recibir.
vivir
vivir,
y discutir.
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 Okay, nice job with that, everybody. Bien, so for homework, try to do the activities for lesson number 5.